Choose yourself. Be happy. Make millions. Live the dream by James Altucher. Picture this. It's 2002, and the world feels like it's ending. The dot-com bubble just exploded, taking the markets down with it. Now imagine you're someone who once had everything. You sold your company at just the right moment, pocketed millions, lived in a massive house, and partied like a rock star. But right now, all of it's vanished. Your phone sits silent. Your bank account shows nothing but red. Actually, worse than nothing, because you're millions in debt. You're staring at your kids through tears, convinced you've destroyed their future, failed as a father, failed in business, failed at life itself. That life insurance policy worth $4 million starts looking like the answer. Maybe the only way to save your family is to remove yourself from the equation. This isn't fiction. This was James Altucher's actual life. And here's the really scary part. This wasn't even his only collapse. He clawed his way back up, made millions again, and then 2008 hit. Lost it all. Again. Divorce, business failures, friends vanishing into thin air. He became very familiar with rock bottom. You're probably thinking, okay, that's rough, but what's this got to do with me? Here's the thing. Those same forces that knocked him flat, they're reshaping your world right now, whether you realize it or not. All those promises about how life works, study hard, land a good job, stay loyal to a company, and they'll take care of you forever. That entire playbook has been shredded. It's a fairy tale now. Today we're diving into a book that's part survival manual, part wake-up call. It's called Choose Yourself, and it rose from the wreckage of those devastating losses. By the time we're done here, you'll understand the one massive shift in thinking you need to not just survive this new world, but actually thrive in it, find happiness, and build life on your terms. This isn't another start a business pitch. This is about starting a completely different way of being. So let's jump in. What happened to our world, exactly? Why did everything suddenly shift beneath us? To get this, we need to rewind to just after World War II. America was absolutely booming. Soldiers came home by the millions, and women who'd been running factories during the war realized they didn't want to just return to domestic life. Suddenly, households had two incomes and more money than they'd ever imagined possible. Marketing geniuses saw an opportunity and created something brilliant. They called it the American dream. White picket fence, 2 cars, college for the kids, the whole package. But here's what nobody mentioned. The American dream was literally a marketing campaign created by Fannie Mae to sell mortgages. It was designed to suck an entire generation into believing that debt-financed houses and corporate jobs equaled happiness. For 50 years, it actually worked. Corporations acted like benevolent parents, offering lifetime employment, pensions, and security. Play by the rules, and you were safe. But underneath the surface, everything was changing. Technology kept advancing. Globalization connected the planet. And quietly, the need for human workers, people sitting in cubicles, started shrinking. Your bosses and their bosses realized they could accomplish more with fewer people. You created more value while they paid you less. Nothing personal, just business. Corporations exist to be efficient, and humans were not always efficient. Then 2008 arrived, the final crash. This wasn't just a financial crisis. It was the old world officially dying. Corporations stopped pretending. They had the perfect excuse to cut the dead weight, and those jobs that disappeared, they never came back. Not in the same form, anyway. We're now living in what Altucher calls the Choose Yourself era. What's that mean? The gatekeepers have left the building. You don't need to wait for a boss to promote you anymore. You don't need a publishing house to make you a writer or a record label to make you a musician. Those middlemen who stood between you and your audience, between your ideas and the world, they're disappearing. This is simultaneously terrifying and incredibly exciting. Terrifying because the safety net's gone. Exciting because, for the first time ever, you can build your own platform, create your own path, and choose yourself. But here's the catch, and it's crucial. You can't just wake up one morning and announce, "Okay, I choose myself." It doesn't work like that. Why not? Because we've spent years being trained to seek external approval. We've learned we're not good enough until someone else validates us. A teacher gives you an AA, coach picks you for the team. A boss hires you. We spend our entire lives waiting to be chosen. And when we're not, that rejection stings. Rejection is the biggest barrier between you and choosing yourself. Think about it. Fear of someone saying no, fear of the rejection letter, fear of not getting the job. That fear paralyzes us completely. So how do you break free? Altucher learned through brutal experience that you can't build a new life on a crumbling foundation. When he hit rock bottom, he realized something. Every time he'd managed to get back up, it wasn't because of some brilliant business deal or clever idea. It was because he started fixing himself from the inside out. He calls this the daily practice. This is the absolute heart of the book. It's not vague self-help nonsense. It's a concrete framework for building a foundation so solid that external chaos can't keep you down for long. The practice strengthens what he calls the 4 bodies: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Think of your life as a house. You can't put a solid roof on crumbling walls and a cracked foundation. These 4 bodies are your foundation. Let's start with the physical body. This is the vehicle carrying you through the world. You don't need to be an athlete, but you need to be healthy. Simple stuff we all know but ignore when stressed. Sleep 7 to 9 hours. Eat real food instead of junk. Move your body, even just walking counts. If your physical body is exhausted and running on empty, you have zero chance of having the energy to build anything meaningful. It's the first domino. Next is the emotional body. This is about your circle of people. Imagine your energy as a glass of water. Some people fill your glass. They inspire you, support you, want you to succeed. Others poke holes in it. They're the critics, complainers, and energy drains. The daily practice here is simple but hard. Surround yourself only with people who lift you up. For those you can't avoid, maybe a negative relative or coworker, learn not to engage. Be polite, smile, but don't get sucked into their drama. You can't build a positive life on negative relationships. Then there's the mental body. Your mind is like a wild horse. Left untamed, it'll run wild with worry, anxiety, and fear, obsessing over the past and panicking about the future. How do you tame it? Give it a job. Make it sweat. This brings us to one of the book's most powerful, actionable ideas. Become an idea machine. Every single day, grab a notebook and write down 10 ideas. They don't need to be good. Business ideas, book ideas, ways to surprise friends, solutions to problems at school, anything counts. The point isn't finding one brilliant, life-changing idea. The point is exercising your idea muscle. Most people wait for inspiration to strike, but inspiration is a myth. Creativity is a muscle. Don't use it, and it atrophies. Write 10 ideas daily, and that's 650 ideas a year. Most will be terrible. A few will be gold. More importantly, you'll train your brain to see solutions and opportunities everywhere. When you become an idea machine, you're never again at the mercy of a single job or path. You have an endless supply of possibilities. This is the engine of choosing yourself. Finally, there's the spiritual body. This isn't about religion, it's about being present. Most of us spend our lives time traveling. We live in regret about the past or anxiety about the future. But the past is a memory and the future is a fantasy. Neither exists. The only thing that's real is right now. The practice here is catching yourself when you're time traveling. When you feel that knot in your stomach about something you did yesterday, or that fear about what might happen tomorrow, just notice it. Tell yourself, I'm time traveling again. Then gently return to the present moment. Another simple spiritual practice? Gratitude. Every morning, before anything else, think of 5 people or things you're genuinely grateful for right now. This simple act shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. It rewires your brain for abundance. So, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, that's the foundation. When these four bodies are healthy and working together, something magical happens. The world starts to bend in your direction. Opportunities appear. You attract the right people. Let's look at how this works in real life. The book is packed with incredible stories of people who, often out of desperation, chose themselves. Take Kamal Ravikant. Kamal got really sick. For months, he was bedridden with a mysterious illness doctors couldn't diagnose. He was in constant pain and thought he was dying. His business was failing, a relationship had ended, a close friend had died. His external world collapsed, and his internal world followed. His body completely broke down. Lying in bed with nothing left, he started repeating a simple mantra. I love myself. I love myself. It felt fake at first, but he kept going, and slowly, miraculously, he started getting better. His body began healing. His mind grew lighter. He chose to give himself the love he was no longer getting from the outside world. Once healthy, he wrote a short book about his experience called Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. He didn't wait for a publisher. He put it on Amazon himself. That book became a massive bestseller. He chose himself to live, then chose himself to share his story. Or look at the music industry. For decades, becoming a star meant getting chosen by a big record label. But then Alex Day, a young musician from England, decided to bypass the system entirely. He started posting videos on YouTube. He wasn't just posting music. He was talking to his audience, building a community, a tribe. He didn't tour. He didn't have a marketing machine. He just had a direct connection with his fans. When he released his album, it competed head-to-head with a new Justin Timberlake album, one of the planet's biggest stars. And on the UK iTunes chart, Alex Day's self-released album, funded by his fans, beat Justin Timberlake. He didn't need the gatekeepers. He had his tribe. He chose himself. This is happening across every industry. The tools are now available for anyone to build their own platform. But having the tools isn't enough. You need the courage to use them. And that courage doesn't come from a business plan. It comes from that solid foundation of the daily practice. When you're healthy inside, you become fearless outside. This brings us to another crucial idea. Honesty makes you more money. Sounds completely backward, right? We see headlines about fraudsters and think the only way to get ahead is lying and cheating. Altucher argues this is complete illusion. Dishonesty works until it doesn't, and when it fails, it's catastrophic. You're out of the game forever. Honesty, on the other hand, compounds. Like money and savings, the trust you build through honesty grows exponentially over time. Every time you give credit to others, introduce two people who can help each other without asking for anything. Admit a mistake instead of making excuses. You're making a deposit in the bank of trust. Think about Google. What does Google do? It's completely honest. You ask it a question, and it says, I know nothing about that, but here are 10 other websites that do. It sends you away from its own site. It recommends its competition, and because it's the most trusted source, we all keep going back. It became the most powerful company in the world by being the most helpful and honest guide. When you become a source of value for others, when you give away your ideas, connect people, promote others, you build your own empire of trust. Abundance flows to those who are trusted. This completely reverses the old way of thinking, which was hoarding your contacts, protecting your ideas, and fighting for every scrap of credit. In the Choose Yourself era, your power comes not from what you hold, but from what you give away. Of course, this journey isn't a straight line to success. There will be failure, lots of it. Altucher himself failed in about 18 of the 20 businesses he started. The key is how you view failure. Most people see failure as a verdict. I failed, therefore I am a failure. But the most successful people see failure as a lesson. They ask, what can I learn from this? How can I do it differently next time? They understand that persistence isn't about never falling down. It's about getting up one more time than you fall. As Altucher says, failing until you accidentally no longer fail. Think of Sarah Blakely, founder of Spanx. She had an idea for a new kind of shapewear for women. She had no experience in fashion or manufacturing. She spent nights in the library researching patents. She cold called factory after factory, and they all said no. They thought her idea was crazy. She got rejected over and over. But she kept going. She found one factory owner willing to take a chance. She started with just $5,000 of her own savings. She never took a dime from investors. Today, she's a self-made billionaire. She chose herself when an entire industry rejected her. The lesson is profound. When the world says no, you have a choice. You can believe it and give up. Or you can use that no as fuel. You can look at what you're doing and ask, how can I improve my product? My approach? How can I expand my audience so I'm not dependent on this one gatekeeper? Rejection isn't a stop sign. It's a fork in the road, forcing you to find a more creative path. As you start living this way, practicing daily, becoming an idea machine, building trust through honesty, and learning from failure, you'll notice something strange. You'll stop caring so much about what other people think. This is the power of another counterintuitive rule: don't have opinions. This doesn't mean you shouldn't have values or beliefs. It means letting go of the need to be right all the time. Think about how much energy we waste arguing with people, especially online, trying to prove our point. Does anyone ever change their mind? Almost never. It's a huge drain of your precious mental and emotional energy. Altucher suggests a simple exercise. Every time you have a strong judgment about something, that person should do this. Just change the punctuation at the end from an exclamation point to a question mark. That person should do this. It turns your certainty into curiosity. It opens you to understanding instead of judging. It's a more peaceful and ultimately more powerful way to move through the world. So where does this all lead? It leads to a life where you're the one in control. Not a boss, not a corporation, not some external system. You. It leads to a life where you're no longer a cog in a machine, but the artist of your own existence. The book ends with a beautiful visualization. Draw a small circle, and in the center, write what you do. Maybe it's student, artist, coder. Now draw a bigger circle around that. In this ring, write all the people you directly affect. Your family, friends, customers. Then draw another, bigger circle. Who do they affect? And another, until your circles encompass the entire world. This isn't an ego exercise. It's realizing your potential. Your actions, no matter how small they seem, ripple outward. When you choose to be healthy, creative, and honest, you don't just change your own life. You send a ripple of positive energy into the world that touches people you'll never even meet. That's the ultimate expression of choosing yourself. It's realizing that the best way to change the world is to first and always change yourself. As we wrap up, just sit with that idea for a moment. The world today can feel overwhelming. It's noisy, chaotic, and there's constant pressure to keep up, get ahead, prove your worth. We're bombarded with images of success that seem impossibly far away. It's easy to feel small, like you're just a passenger in a life moving too fast. What I find so powerful about Choose Yourself is that it offers a quiet rebellion against all that noise. It's a declaration of independence. James Altucher's message, born from his own painful journey, is that true power, true freedom, and true success aren't things you find out there. They're not granted by a company, university, or system. They're things you build, brick by brick, from the inside. The daily practice, focusing on your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health, isn't just a nice idea. It's the most practical, strategic thing you can do to prepare for the future. In a world constantly changing, where tomorrow's jobs haven't even been invented yet, the only stable asset you truly have is you. Your health, your creativity, your resilience, your ability to connect with people. That's your real currency. And for someone standing at the beginning of it all, this message is a gift. It frees you from the pressure of having everything figured out. You don't need to know your purpose for the rest of your life. Colonel Sanders didn't even start franchising KFC until he was 65. Your only purpose right now is building a strong foundation. So how can you start? Don't try doing everything at once. That's a recipe for overwhelm. Just pick one thing. Maybe tonight, you decide to get a full 8 hours of sleep. That's it. That's your practice for the day. You're working on your physical body. Or maybe tomorrow, you take out paper and write down 10 ideas. Just 10 silly, crazy, impossible ideas. You're exercising your idea muscle. Or maybe you just take a moment to text a friend and tell them you're grateful for them. You're tending to your emotional and spiritual body. These actions seem small. They seem insignificant. But they're the seeds. They're the tiny deposits into the bank account of your future self. Over time, they compound into a life of strength, creativity, and freedom. A life where you're no longer waiting to be chosen, because you're the one who chooses. That was a deep dive into Choose Yourself by James Altucher. We've explored the core ideas today, but I'll be honest, a summary can only ever be a map. The real treasure is found when you walk the path yourself. The true magic happens in the quiet moments of reading, when a particular story or simple phrase connects with you in an unexpected way. This journey we took was designed to help you decide if this book is worth your time. If anything we've talked about has sparked something in you, I encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning new information. It's an experience that can genuinely change how you see yourself and the path ahead. A link to the book is waiting for you in the description. Also, if you found this exploration valuable and it gave you a new perspective, please take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. That way, you won't miss our next journey into another life-changing book from the world's most successful minds. Let's keep learning and growing together.